Okay, so I am going to start putting out videos that will help you guys build a trap account more than the type of videos I've been doing. And I started one the other night with hero presets, which I can't stress enough how important it is to have proper hero gear set up. And the presets just help you maintain that proper setup. But so this video is going to cover what buildings I use and why. Of course, you know, I do say that my blueprint works for me, and just because I do it this way does not mean that this is the only way to do it. I know that there is such a thing as a health trap out there. That seems like witchcraft to me. It doesn't seem real, but obviously people make it work. The reason I say that is because each hospital can only hold 1.5 million troops, generally with just depending on what troops you're using too. And I use T1, so Health Trap would not work for me. That said, you know, if you had all hospitals, it does increase your overall health, and you can see all that, you know. Okay, so I only have one hospital, but I'm going to go through why I only have one hospital and why I don't have more hospitals. So it gives me a truth health bonus of 45%, which is pretty good. A little bit faster healing speed, and I use gold to heal troops, so healing speed doesn't really matter to me as much. You know, even if I have a full hospital and it takes like 10k gold, not a big deal. But it does give some troop health bonuses, which is great. And troop health is important, and I'm not gonna say that it's not. For me, I like a defense trap, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I want a cap. Some people have gotten in arguments with me that I'm a health trap if I'm not capping, but I'm winning on points, and that's not what a health trap is, in my opinion. What's important is that you win on points, period, end of story. Now, control burn is harder, as I've said multiple times in other videos, because of the way the point structure is now for kill versus kill events. It makes it really hard. I almost quit when I saw that, just because it makes trapping in general that much more of a pain in the ass. But okay, so people ask me why I have so many barracks, and in short, this is the answer. Okay, so I debuff health at 200%. My troop defense bonus is 83. If you look at that versus hospitals, you know, I debuff more than that hospital gives me by 4 times. Okay, so they gave me 45% for health. I can debuff 200%. So you're not gaining anything from my outlook on that, from doing hospitals. So I get 83% boost in defense, strategic and wild regular troops as well, and then I get 200% debuff. That's huge, okay? And you multiply that by 16, which I have 16 or 17 barracks. I can count them real quick. Let's see, there's 4, and then I have 6, 12, and 8. So yeah, I have right at 22. Is that right? No, 20. I have right at 20 barracks. Now I don't have any rural plots left. Urban plots left. They're all bought. So I have 20 barracks, all at level 30. So, you can take that 200% health debuff and multiply that by 20. So that gives you, what, 40,000? Is that right? Alright, I don't have a calculator, and don't quote me on my math. But, so you get way more bang for your buck with barracks. You also can rebuild from a complete zeroing so much faster because of your troop queue. I stand by barracks as the number one most important building in a city. Okay, everything on my account is maxed. And that's just because, I had it available. Buildings don't give you that much troop power. If you look at the ratio, they're the best bang for your buck because of power, alright? So you look at my building power is only 13 billion. Okay, my research power is like, 620, 6.5. That's so much more than building power. Even if I completely leveled every building, you wouldn't even notice any change in my power, right? Especially when it's showing 1.14 trillion now. Okay, so buildings don't matter for traps as far as you don't want to keep your power down by not having buildings. That used to be an argument when players were so much smaller. Nowadays, don't worry about it. Let's see. And then, okay, what's another really important building? I would say that the Watchtower is hugely important. Why? It doesn't seem like it because it doesn't actually do anything other than let you know. Okay, but look at this. Heighten your defenses with a strong Watchtower debuff of 700. What that tower debuff is it's your attack debuff. Okay, so when when an attacker's coming, I get minus 700 attack debuff. So I have to go ahead and take away 700% of their attack. That's overall attack. So that's pretty awesome. Next, I will say some of the most important stuff that we do as traps is these building boosts. I mean, if you add on 700 plus this 110, that's 810% attack debuff. And I'll go to my boost manager to better explain this, but possibly I'll do a different video on actual building boosts. But I'll go ahead and run through where I'm at now. And my highest luck value is 28. My lowest should be 26. And I got all of my barracks at least 26, other than the new rule plot boosts, which are like resource orbs instead of time orbs. I haven't even really messed with that much. I just got enough points to get something on the board. Okay, so that's basically an overview of my building boost. Like I say, I'll go back into that in more detail later, but for right now, that's what I got. Then we get into another important building would be this Archeology Hall. Why? It doesn't really do anything. It just generates some stupid map that I never use this for that. But what it does do is gives you these bonuses. Now, attack bonus, troop health. Okay, you were talking about, we were talking about the hospitals earlier. The hospitals provide 45% troop health. Okay, so even if I had 20 hospitals instead of 20 barracks, it wouldn't touch this one building. That's huge. Okay, so we'll come down here and just show you. It's the same thing though. The Archeology Hall, I mean, I think like 1 or 2 packs nowadays could max this building out. And the maps, I mean, you can just do it as for the free players. If you really wanted to help out your alliance, you could generate a map, tell your free players where it is, and let them mine it so that you're helping out your alliance. I'm big on that. Helping out your alliance members is huge because when they grow, you grow, and there still are free players and they're still active free players. So make sure you support those guys because they do a lot of things, especially like your gift level and all that. You can say what you want. Some people don't give a rip about their free players, but you should. If you got them in your alliance, they've been around for a long time. They're usually pretty loyal. Okay, what's next? Building wise, I would say for anybody really, the the garrison is pretty cool because it costs less resources to promote, which I'm not done rebuilding my troops yet, so bear with me. I know this is kind of jacked that I only have, ranged and infantry done yet on my T1s, but you can promote for much cheaper T5s. You can go from T4 to T5 and promote instead of training T5s, and it's so much cheaper. And you already usually have the T4s, so the cost to bump them up is much less, in time and in resources. So then we look at walls. Why are walls important? Not only do you get the traps out of walls, it also gives you the higher your walls are, it also boosts your actual trap stats. So trap defense, trap attack, and trap training speed. You get all three of those with boosting your walls. Let's see. I haven't rebuilt any traps yet. They're all zeroed out. And those are the most important buildings. I would say your altar is also an important building. I've toyed with the idea of getting rid of my altar, but look at these boosts. And that's in training gear. I think I'm still in the training gear. Hold on, let me go to actual defense gear that boosts that, and I can show you the difference. Okay, so then we go back to the altar. So it bumps it up a bit, and it's not worth getting rid of it. Not for one more barracks. You don't get the same benefit for one building. So that's why I use it. And you can get the defense bonus on your actual building boost from an altar, which is pretty cool. You have to have the prison to get the altar, but once it's 230, right now they haven't updated the buildings, so you could get rid of your prison, keep your altar, and put another barracks if you wanted to, which I'm considering. It's just kind of a pain in the butt when they upgrade or they release upgrades for buildings, and you have to go back and rebuild your prison so you can bring your altar to the next level. But if you are serious about having the highest stats, that's something you can do, and it'll help benefit your account. Villas. Oh, sorry, that's not a villa, my bad. They all start to look different when they're at 30 than I'm used to seeing for most of the game. Let's see, there's my villa. Okay, so villas are okay. They add mostly attack, if I remember correctly. We'll go down and look. Yeah, they add troop attack. So if you were an offensive player, I would say you probably want to concentrate more on villas. That's just because it does increase your training speed, and it does increase your attack. And I have the Pantheon boosted all the way, and I use the troop defense debuff and the troop health debuff as my my two tributes, or two boosts, or what, I don't know the exact terminology it is, but that's basically what I use, and I couldn't tell you if it actually works. I think it does, but I'm not sure, and it might just be for marching troops versus attacks on my city. I don't know that 100%, but it's there. I had the foundations and all the, I don't remember exactly what they were called to boost it, but I already had it, so I boosted it, whatever. Once again, building power isn't anything compared to your research power anyway, so don't worry about building your building. It's not going to get much of a hidden number by doing anything like that. And lastly, I only have one of each of the resources rule tiles done, that is just because I don't want to sink a whole bunch of resources into building them. They do not generate enough to matter, and it's frustrating that you can't generate enough resources to actually do anything in this game. You have to spend after a certain level to continue growing. It's supposed to be a free game. You guys all know that ain't the case. But so that's a rundown of my buildings and which buildings I think are important. Obviously, your research or your academy should be at max, and that's just because, well, it makes everything cheaper. It makes you don't use as many speeds, especially because all the speeds are going away, all the bonuses and whatnot, or at least they say they are. I'm sure they'll bring them back from time to time. Black market was a complete waste of money. Well, sort of. I mean, it just came in one of the packs, but it's just a waste of a building. I wish I could tear it down and put a barracks up, but that is what it is. Okay, this is turning out to be a long video about my buildings. Just trying to look here and make sure. Oh, embassy is important too, especially if you're an alliance that likes to reinforce you. And I would say that if you're not, you need to find an alliance that can reinforce you, especially during KVK. Not so much outside of KVK, but reinforcement, embassies, they add a big bonus, and it can make a difference between whether you cap or burn, or whether you burn bad or burn a little bit. So if you got questions, man, hit me up with them. I love the questions. It gives me direction. As I say in every video, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. Later.